Hello and welcome to Deck Builders St. Louis, where we talk all things outdoor living. Today we are tackling a simple question that causes a lot of regret after a project is finished. How big should your deck really be? Most homeowners either build too small and feel cramped, or they go too big and end up maintaining square footage they rarely use. Let us start with how you actually use the space. Picture your main deck area with a basic table, 4 to 6 chairs, and a grill. You want enough room to pull chairs back comfortably and still walk behind someone without bumping into railings. In simple terms, plan at least 3 feet of clear walking space around seating areas and main doors. That extra room is what keeps the deck feeling open instead of tight. Next, think about traffic flow. On most St. Louis homes, people move from the kitchen door, across the deck, downstairs, and out to the yard or patio. You do not want furniture blocking that path. A good rule is to keep a clear walkway that feels like a hallway, not a maze. When we design decks, we often treat that path as its own zone, separate from where furniture lives. That approach keeps people from squeezing past hot grills or tight corners when you have guests over. Deck materials matter too. Composite decking, like Trex boards, adds weight compared to many wood options, and that affects how we frame the deck under your feet. Heavier surfaces mean we pay close attention to joist spacing, beam spans, and footing locations so the deck feels solid when you walk across it. When we talk about making a deck bigger, we are not just extending boards, we are extending the structure that supports them. Another point many homeowners overlook is how the deck connects to other outdoor features. Maybe you already have a ground-level patio, or you plan to add a pergola, or even a future sunroom. The deck size should work with those spaces, not fight them. Sometimes that means building a slightly smaller upper deck with a wide stair down to a patio, instead of one oversized platform that dominates the back of the house. A layered approach can make your yard feel larger and more flexible. We also need to talk about support and cost. Every extra foot of deck depth adds lumber, hardware, and labor. It may add more footings, and sometimes changes the beam layout. On sloped yards around St. Louis, taller decks can require longer posts and more bracing to handle wind and movement. Bigger is not always better if that extra space never gets used. Often a tight, well-planned footprint performs better and costs less to maintain over time. Do not forget railings and stairs. Wide stairs take more room on the deck and in the yard, but they are safer and feel more comfortable to use. Railings with posts at the right spacing help keep everything solid and code compliant. When we lay out a deck, we mark where stairs will land and how railings will run before we finalize the overall size. That way, nothing feels squeezed in at the end. If you are trying to picture your own deck size, one easy trick is to tape out dimensions in your yard. Mark an area that matches the width of your house and a reasonable depth. Then place lawn chairs where a table might sit. Walk through it as if you were carrying a tray, opening a door, or heading downstairs. This quick test makes layout problems obvious before you ever sign a contract. At Tough Deck Builders St. Louis, we design decks to fit how you actually live, not just what looks nice on a drawing. You can reach our team at 314-309-3595 or visit toughdeckbuilderslouis.com if you want help sizing a deck, planning a patio connection, or tying in a future pergola or covered space. A short conversation can save you from costly changes later. Thanks for listening to Deck Builders St. Louis. If you are planning a new deck or replacing an old one, take time to think through how big the space really needs to be, how people will move through it, and what materials will support it for the long haul. We will be back soon with more practical tips to help you build an outdoor space that feels solid, safe, and ready for years of use.